Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
This took a long time to get here, and every other week we find a new name in Victory Lane. But a new name is on top of the points for this week. Aaron Johnson has taken it over for 3 points over Kyle Turzak, who's been the dominant car of this season. Live here tonight for the Misfit Racing Series in the Summer Series presented by RUK Offshore. Tuesday night at Oxford Plains. And I told you I wasn't going to mess that up, but I did. I did make that mistake. Co-host here tonight. Got Gavin Grubbs up in the broadcast booth. Gavin, this racetrack is going to be difficult. There's no outside wall to judge your speed. There's just a cliff to fall off of. These drivers have their work cut out for them with a flip-flop in the schedule.
Yeah, we were supposed to be at Phoenix this week, I think we were talking about before, but they decided to swap the weeks to get everybody a little bit off their guard, and we're here at Oxford, which is a really, really interesting short track. I believe it's only a third of a mile, maybe 3/8, but you're constantly in a left turn, even on the straightaways. You never really get this car straightened out, especially in the Super. I mean, it's a high-speed car, so you're always turning the car, so really keeping your right front cool is going to end up being one of the most important things tonight, I think, because we only get the one set of tires that we're starting on, and you got to make them last 150 laps.
Just over a quarter of a mile here, and just under half a mile, 0.37 here in Oxford, Maine. 9 degrees of banking in the corners, opened back June 1950. And it's a sand trap outside of these corners, so you have to be careful. There's sand traps. In fact, there's sand mounds around the light poles in the middle of this field. And we've seen a few cars hit those during practice.
I'm not going to lie. When I get in a lobby here at Oxford, I like aiming straight for them and seeing how much air I can get sometimes. It's pretty fun once these practices get a little boring.
First, we'll take a look at the points. We mentioned it there at the beginning of the broadcast. Aaron Johnson taking over. It's 2 points. I said 3, but it's 2 points here. And then Robert Taylor. Mathematically, only the top 3 have a chance here in these final 3 races. So Oxford, of course, changing on the schedule here with Phoenix Raceway. We still have a lot of racing left to be done, but mathematically, only 3 drivers have the possibility. And Aaron Johnson, the Mac man, getting his 2nd victory of the season. He is looking very good, but it's Kyle Terzak on the top spot. It's going to be difficult to take over.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Terzak got back to the points lead. I haven't really been watching much. This is only my 2nd show with Misfit this summer for the summer series, but I know that Kyle Terzak in the late model stock is just a absolute beast to try to outrun. So I imagine he's pretty fast in the super as well.
Absolutely is. He's been bad fast, but let's take you trackside now and get the grid up on the screen. We have 5 flags B-roll here for this, so we're going to take you to the actual trackside. As deep as it goes, it's starting on that top spot, the 0-1-5 of Kyle Terzak with a 14.392. We'll start on the top spot. Take it away there, Gavin.
Yeah, it's Tracy Petter there on his outside, also with a 14.392, a dead tie, but it went to Kyle Terzak. Row 3 is Mount Rolfe in the 00, and Aaron Johnson on his outside. Rounding out the top 5 is Jake Grout in the 49 truck with Jason Ferry in the 6 car. Larson Parker in the 18 with Christopher Shepard on his outside. Rounding out the top 10 is Travis Owens and Kyle Adams.
11th spot going to go to Colt Morton. We got Robbie Taylor in 12th. 13th is going to go to Brad Carpenter. You have Will Vanover in 14th position. 15th going to Dustin Smith. Then you have Thomas Dean at 16th with 19 cars. One of those not making the grid, and the green flag is out. Terzak into turn 1 with just 18 cars on the racetrack. Here we go from Oxford Plains.
Yeah, like
lap 1.
Yeah, like I was saying here at the start of the show, that Kyle Terzak is going to be a force to be reckoned with. He jumps out to an early start. Everybody, most of the way through the top 10, staying single file, but we got some movement going on here back in the pack.
This is back around Kyle Adams for the top 10. 9th position, up for grab, 66 to the inside of Robbie Taylor, trying to get by. You're constantly turning left on board with the 66.
Well, this car's pretty loose because it looks like he's constantly turning right in here.
The balance of this car on the throttle, you can steer it with that. But you got to watch the inside as well. Look at that mound. There's so many things to hit at this place.
Yeah, I mean, you got that big curb there in all 4 corners. You have on the straightaways kind of a lip on the outside line that if you get too far over it, it really upsets the car. I mean, you got to be careful. And then really not much space to get away from the cars around you either. So you have no time for any errors. You have to be 100% in control this entire race.
Zach's going to lead another lap. It's Tracy Penner in the number 1, labeled as the 79, running in 2nd spot. New name here. Moving up a little bit on our name of drivers to watch. Holding that 2nd spot, Matt Rolfe. And then Aaron Johnson, the points leader, running in 4th position. It's going to take a few laps in the race analysis, 150 to complete here today. No tire sets available, and that's a big takeaway there. We go to these bigger tracks, Gavin. When you go to Phoenix, we went to Nashville, we've been to, Talladega, and there was tire sets available. Not the case here tonight.
Yeah, I really like that, having no tire sets available. It really makes you drive the car carefully, makes your decision making more important. And as we're looking at this top 4, everybody up here seems completely in control of their car, seem to be in control of the position they want to be in, doing a really good job of being fast without using up those tires. They're not sliding around a bunch. They're not really fighting amongst each other. They're all just running their laps. And then as we look further back in the field, this is where things get a little hectic. Battle for ninth right here is where you really got to watch, because you don't want to use these tires up too early. And I don't know if I like what Kyle Adams is doing up there. We've seen him up around the top line so often tonight as everybody else is just hugging the curb.
He gets back down to the backside of that run. It gets to the bottom of the racetrack. 24 and 19. That's Christopher Shepard who took away the position. That settles out. That was the closest battle, really. But we have it shaping up here for the top three again. Tracy Petter has lost ground about 1.3 seconds. Kyle Turzak going to be dealing with lap traffic here and has already dealt with some of it.
Yeah, Kyle Turzak got around the 4 car there, and he is just in his own zip code right now. I really like what he's doing because he's somehow this fast, but man, that car is smooth. He is not messing up at all.
The offset there, looking like that wheel was turning right down the straightaway, would just give a little bit back to it. Now passing the 71 on the racetrack. Another lap car now, Thomas Dean gonna go one down. Brad Carpenter the next one, and we got problems in front. That was believe the 33 of Dustin Smith. We'll take it back on a replay. Watch Will Van over here.
Oh, he just gives Trevor Ward a little bit of a punt, and then everybody kind of sorts it back out. Doesn't look like there's too big a damage on anybody except the 61 car on the front, but I don't know if they're going fast enough here for just a little bit of aero damage to really bother him.
Aero not as important here. Like we said, it's just over a quarter of a mile around this place. And I had my heart set tonight on some 1 mile oval at Phoenix Raceway. That will come next week. This is part of the big plan here. And if you were part of the broadcast last week, you'll know what we're talking about.
I was not part of the broadcast last week. I don't know the plan.
All right, so there's 2 weeks in August. The 18th, Misfit Racing is going to team up here, of course, today, with Sim Auto Racing's Association to kick off the Sarah's Oxford 250, the National Tour event. Amarillo's 7th race of the Summer Series is going to open a full week of racing in Oxford. That also features the Legend Street Stocks, Late Model Stocks. The races throughout the week are all highlighted by Sarah's 250-lap Super Late Model main event on Thursday, August 20th. You can tune in all week long here at the Misfit and the Summer Series. But we also have other things to talk about. With the update here, if you didn't already see it, of course we're running here at Oxford instead of Phoenix. But flipping the 2 dates in the partnership with Sarah, this is going to be a fantastic. This is only short tracks, competitive, fun late model stock car league. There's also a Discord link that we'll post here in the chat if you're interested. We watched the 15 of Turzak continue to lead, so we'll put that in the chat. Be a part of that. So there you go, folks.
Well, that sounds like a really exciting race. The Oxford 250 is always super exciting in real life. We got super high car counts, so I can only imagine how many sim racers are going to try to show up for that, and the whole week of racing. I mean, that's just something to be really excited for, especially with the cars like the Street Stocks and the Legends here at Oxford, because they always race really good, and they're really fun to race here.
Aaron Johnson got around for the 3rd position. Trying to make tracks on the 1 of Tracy Petter. Kyle Turzak making up that 2-point difference this week. And Aaron Johnson, I just want to say you changed the paint scheme. It's got to be what the reason is for this third place run right now. He's got a lot of ground to make up. It's over 2 seconds.
Yeah, I do really like this paint scheme, though. That red and blue really pop off of each other there. Really, really good looking race car.
It's a long run, and, you know, if you think that paint looks good, you should have saw it a couple weeks ago. Larson, Parker, Robbie, Taylor for the 6th spot. Parker on the inside. Taylor going to get by on the 18. We've got 2 18s out on the racetrack. I believe that's the 5 of Jason Fair that's going to be into the inside here through 3 and 4. But constantly turning left, it takes a toll on you, Gavin. It's a long road here, even though it's a short track.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense to me because, I mean, you got to look at the way these cars are set up. You got to think they have a lot of steering offset built into it, the way that they're kind of holding the wheel straight in the corners and turning right down the straightaways.
35 laps into this. No tire sets available, and a little wiggle, a little touch there, and the 24 of Adams is around. Is that going to bring out the yellow? It does. 71's around as well.
It was just a bad place for lap traffic and everybody to be getting loose. I mean, they're at a turn 4, the track just kind of funnels into itself, and traffic all just kind of got shoved together and ended up all in the same spot.
Looking back on an instant replay, what do you see here, Gavin?
Oh, I mean, the lap car that was the 4 just ended up getting into Kyle Adams. Kyle Adams checked up, but the 4 didn't check up in time, and it just kind of stacked into everybody. I think it's just a racing deal at a track this short. You know, watch the 66 kind of comes down. And yeah, it was just the 4 just didn't check up in time. Adams did a really good job of avoiding getting too much damage there. And really everybody did a good job not destroying any race cars.
Still on board with the 4 of Colt Martin. He was a lap down running behind the 24. Here's the checkup, and there's the contact. A hit to the outside wall. With no tire sets available, do not expect anybody except Colt Martin to come down pit road, maybe top off with fuel. Terzak is showing pit lane for now.
Interesting.
Just
why
trolling.
they were trying to do that. Just trolling. Okay. Because I didn't know. Maybe there was some fuel games being played, but I think we can go 150 laps here on a tank of gas.
Wouldn't see why not, but the 015 retains the lead. However, with this caution, it groups everybody back up, and the pace car is going to make the left-hand turn in just a moment's time. There it goes out of the way. First restart of the night on lap number 40. Green flag back underway.
Yeah, really good job by Terzak there. And watch Johnson right here. He's finally got a shot to get on the inside of Petter, get up to second place. I think Johnson's been the most in control out of those cars that were there battling for second place for so long. And looks like he's going to get control of second. Just kind of get in line here right behind Kyle Terzak.
Be the first time today that anybody has really contested the 15. Will we see the 78 drive up there to the back bumper? Brad Carpenter doing battle on the outside. Kyle Adams, who was involved in that caution just a moment ago. The 33 of Dustin Smith. It is a hornet's nest back here around the 12th position.
Yeah, this right here is kind of the really where the biggest battles are been happening the whole race, kind of 10th on back. And these guys are all kind of as fast as each other, but you know, compared to the top 3 or 4 cars, these guys have just been a little bit more slipping and sliding against each other and kind of generating opportunities for action. And you can see here we just have 4 cars pretty much under a blanket by each other right here. Nobody able to really take control.
You gotta figure it out though. The more time they run side by side, the more time is wasted and ground is lost to those leaders. Adams still finally gets cleared. He's still trying to work. Now we'll look to the inside Christopher Shepard in the 19. That all happening while Terzak pulls away a little bit. About 7/10 for the 15 over Aaron Johnson.
Lap 50, a third of the way through this race nearly. These laps are clicking off fast as we've only had one caution.
And it was a shortened race there last week. Car count a little bit lower and ended up running just 75 laps for that last race. But again, this season has been up and down with the schedule change here tonight. And then last week with the lap count change, Aaron Johnson has found a way to prevail and take this points lead. Watch him back to Tracy Petter, but you look up ahead. The 15 is getting a really good run off the corner, pulling away.
Yeah, Terzak's just been constantly in control of this race so far through the first third of it. Aaron Johnson right here in second, doing a good job. He's not doing anything wrong. Right around in third gear, actually, here. Just not using a whole lot of throttle, not using a whole lot of brake either. Just trying to drive it with the rear tires as opposed to driving it with the front. Keep that right front from really getting too hot too early, and hopefully he can be in it here at the end. Seems like his line's a little more shallow than Terzak, though. You watch him right here for a couple laps.
Yeah, we're right on board with Terzak. Terzak on the bottom, but the entry a little bit later. We'll jump back to Aaron Johnson in the 78. Yeah, you see that entry is a lot shallower, like you mentioned. Burn up the right front.
Yeah, but you just got to think that might be intentionally, because he might be kind of, you know, braking a little more than Terzak, so it might not be burning up the right front as much as you think, because he might just be driving it more with the throttle and with the brakes than really with the steering wheel input, because it doesn't seem like he's loose when he's entering early. It doesn't seem like it should be heating up that tire too much, but maybe it is. It's going to be something to keep an eye on.
Larson Parker, Matt Rolfe going side by side. This is for the fourth spot. 18 trying to get by. It's been about 7 laps that these drivers have been side by side now. That's how quickly they tick away. We're already 58 laps in to the action in Oxford Plains. And they continue to battle for this top 5. Zero is getting a little bit of a headroom here.
He really tried to charge the corner there, try to clear the 18, but he couldn't quite do it. And it looks like he's trying to get a little greedy here. I don't know if I like that long term for this race, because the more he washes up in the corner, the more that car's just going to start driving worse and worse.
Trying to complete a pass, though, does not have the inside. Will have to take it. Will clear and drop down in front of the 18. That was a close one there.
Can't get clear.
Yeah, Parker's burning up his stuff as well as they run side by side on lap 61.
Yeah, if I'm Jake Brown, I just want to wait.
This is going back to around the 8th position. Robbie Taylor, Will Vanover in the 61. And I said I was going to do this, so I got to do it now. Kaylee, if you're watching. Nelson Smith, thanks you for putting up with him all this time. She was pleasant to talk to. We had her on the headset earlier. I think she compared it to these guys pretending. Their little sim rigs.
I mean, they might be pretending, but they're pretending for real.
Pretending for real. In 10th position on board with the 33. Still a battle up there with the with the 00. Parker, I mean, these guys have lost 1.9 seconds, and they're going to look 3 wide almost into 1.
Yeah, I don't know why Grout's really getting aggressive here. I know he's losing time to the cars in front of him, but at some point these two guys are going to burn up their stuff, and he's just going to be able to slide right by him. So I don't think he needs to push the issue at all, especially with that big gap up to third place.
I can see maybe a little bit of the reason, though, when you watch these guys run side by side for this many laps. You're trying to figure out what car to go with, and you might make your own line here in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know if making your own line is a good idea, putting it 3 wide at a track this short, but now the 18's finally going to get cleared at 0. I think, anyway. Grout's still right there under him, but man, the 0's just fighting for his life up there on the top. He's not giving up. I think if he would have maybe conceded the position a while ago, he'd be in a better long-term spot, but as we're getting halfway through this race, I feel like he might be more than halfway through his right front tire.
18 could come up the racetrack. Will do so. No. Stand to the bottom. Take a look here at the blimp camera. Watch this line from the 18. He's keeping it right in front of the 49. We're kind of flirting with disaster back here in this 5th place.
Yeah, but getting clear of that 0 car is going to be really beneficial. Now Jake Grout is going to try the outside on better tires, probably. He's probably done a better job taking care of them. So he's being really aggressive here as he's going to get to the inside of Larson Parker. Side by side with him. Watch for Jake Grout to make this pass here. I think he's going to make it work pretty easily now. So he just rolls the bottom. Oh, man, Parker did a really good job there in turn 3 and 4, getting out of the corner. That line he's running, dangerous to be running for too many laps, but man, it's fast.
Work your way closer and closer. We talked about that cliff. We'll take a look at it from our scenic camera. But that cliff right there, that's where you don't really have that benefit. Where we have other tracks that have a wall to the outside and kind of let you know, hey, this is the boundary, don't cross it. This place deceitful.
Yeah, it is, but the good, fortunate thing about it here is that top line closest to that cliff just isn't viable. So you don't really see very many cars go off the top of it unless it's, you know, on a restart or trying to avoid a wreck or if they get pushed up there.
Door to door, toe to toe. Into 3 and 4 and almost some contact and racing hard. 18 doing what the 0 was doing earlier. Fighting really hard here on the outside. How many laps will this last?
I think there was a little bit of contact there that last time around with 49. He's in his bumper, but he just can't clear him. There he goes, 49 of Jake Grout up into the top 4 now.
It's Dustin Smith running on the back of Jason Fair, and you have Trevor Ward. Also, this is 7th through 10th position. Well, Vanover with that damage on the front of his car. Vanover just had a connection issue, pops back in. You can see the damage there on the front of the 61. Picked that in that first caution. It's going to take a while to see these tires kind of wear out and the cream rise to the top, but the lead, 1.7 seconds. Terzak in lap traffic.
Now this is where Terzak's got to be careful around these cars that he's obviously faster than that he's lapping. I mean, he just put Martin 2 laps down, but he's trying to get up here on Hale, and he's going to be on the lead lap, so he's going to be fighting a little bit harder. I think everybody that Terzak's going to catch up to now is going to fight him pretty hard, but he's got a comfortable lead, so he doesn't have to be pushing it right now.
We say comfortable, we mean 1.6 seconds. But Terzak gaining a little bit of ground last time by. It was a 10th faster, roughly. That lap traffic is playing a factor. You want to relax. You want to work your way around them. Caution is out. And I believe the 5 off the edge of the racetrack. This is the 18 scored as the 5 on your pylon. Sandtrap caught one here. Little help.
Yeah, looks like he had some help from Trevor Ward there. And then he just goes over the top, and they're going to drag some sand onto the track, but I think everybody's going to be okay. Yeah, let's see what happens here. Is these four right here have been running nose to tail for a long time, and Ward just gets way too hot in there in turn 1 and just kind of really just sends the 18, I guess the 5.
That brings out our second yellow of the evening. Gavin filling in here for Scott Shive. Doing a fantastic job, Gavin. I know it's your, I guess, 1.5 race here for the summer series. But if you had to boil this season down, right now we've got Kyle Turzak, who's pretending to go down pit road.
Got to keep it interesting.
You got Aaron Johnson, who points out on the lead here. Now to the outside, we're double back up. Is this the opportunity where you save your tires enough?
I mean, I think so, but man, even though Turzak's been pushing quite a bit of pace, I mean, I don't feel like he's used up his tires that much. He hasn't had any competition to really race against. He's been racing himself, so we're about to find out here.
Little wheel spin there for the 49 of Jake Grout on the inside line to the outside. 78 almost touched fenders with Turzak. It's going to get really good here in these closing laps, second half of the race. 88 out of 150.
I really like what Jake Grout's doing, or like said I liked what Jake Grout's doing, but now he's back to forth. Larson Parker's back around him, and now he's going to have to fight back for this position. How about Dustin Smith up into the top 5?
Turzak driving really hard on the outside. There's Smith in the 5th position. Will Vanover, Christian Shepard. These restarts have been kind of the deciding factor, but 10 positions gained. That's the standoff here. You go back, William Hale up 10 as well in the 62. So 2 cars with massive moves to the front. Tracy Petter, oh, a car sideways, cautions out. That's Will Vanover, I believe, in the 61. That'll bring us to our 3rd caution of the night.
Yeah, I feel like that was just a racing deal. Like, that didn't look anything crazy. We're going to take another look at it here.
Nothing egregious, but in that inside line.
Yeah, I mean, the 62 gets there, and yeah, just gets a little too greedy out of turn 4. I think he had a better run than the 61 did, and he had the run, but he didn't have the room.
Here's the contact.
I think that's
wide.
I think that's about the best way to describe it, is just he had the run, but he didn't have the room.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here for the Misfit Summer Series live on VSpeedRaceMRL.com. When we come back, remaining portion right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
back here to Oxford Plains, where we went back green. Kyle Terzak with the lead. Aaron Johnson on the back bumper. Been a close battle here for the lead. We have that quick caution there. 3 cautions, no lead changes. Terzak under fire here. And on the, I think that was the curb that caught the 78 there on this inside line to 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. It just clipped the curb and really did a good job saving it, because this curb is vicious, and these super late models, they don't have a whole lot of grip to them. Like, as soon as you get a little bit upset, you're going for a ride. So he did a really good job saving it.
There's a handful as they get around. Dustin Smith to the inside. Jake Grout to the outside. 49.33. A lot of different lines around this place, but you can burn your stuff up. 50 laps to go, roughly. You gotta wonder about these cars that have been running outside all race long. You can nurse this car back to health, but it takes a few laps.
Yeah, that's the thing, is just keeping the tires cool. I feel like temperatures on both late models really matter more than tire wear, honestly, from my experience.
And speaking of experience, I'm limited here in the late model, and like I said, I was pretty heartfelt on the caution being out. Now here with the 5 off the edge of the racetrack. That is scored as the 5 of Jason Fear. Be back on
That's the
replay.
second time he's been over the. That's the second time he's been over it right there. Looks like he didn't have as much help that time. He just got clipped after he tried to save it. Really did a good job saving it. I mean, almost everybody kept it rolling. I think everybody actually kept it rolling. So, you know, good opportunity for the field to get bunched up there.
He said it again, though. For Terzak, you're probably starting to feel like the field's working against you. You get back to the front. There's a lot of bonus points here for a race win. Of course, 2 races left mathematically. We talked about the top 3. We'll bring those points back up on the screen. Now, Robert Taylor in the 66. It's very deep in this field, back in 9th position. Has a victory this season. You go back to Ryan Kuhn, who's not out on the racetrack tonight. There's not been a lot of winners here in this summer series, Gavin, so it's been very concentrated.
Yeah, it looks like 6 wins spread across 4 drivers, so these top 2 are doing a really good job controlling the rest of the field. And that's why these wins are going to be really important here down the stretch to the end of the season.
Green flag back underway with about 43 laps to go. Now 42. And Kyle Terzak has some company on these restarts. This is going to show, did he save the tires or not?
Yeah, Johnson's right there on Terzak's rear bumper. Bobbled a little bit out of 2 there. Terzak just did such a good job on that second lap to get such a good run out of turn 4 to clear him. Doing a great job here, everybody. Not running into each other. Terzak really doing a good job controlling this race. Giving everybody behind him. Oh, and there's, I think, trouble in the back, but everybody saves it. Trevor Ward was out of control there and in the middle of a 3 wide. Got sideways, but he regained control. Because we're 3 wide behind him even.
3 wide at Oxford Plains. The 4 on the outside. The double 0, the 31. Some cars trying to get back to the front where they felt like they were in a better position. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, this mid to back of the pack right here is just an absolute hornet's nest, honestly. Got a car almost going around, but he's going to save it and go over the wall.
Oh, that's your third place driver in points there. That's 66 at Taylor.
Yeah, he's out of the park, but he's going to get back going, and we're going to stay green this time.
Had some help from the 16. Not the first time we saw contact. That driver tonight of Trevor Ward.
A really good job saving the car, though. Like, I mean...
Caution's out now. William Hale's around.
Yeah, that right there's a scary view when you're out of control going straight for the wall.
Back this up one more time. RUK Offshore replay. There's a checkup. It looks like the 49's around as well.
Grout's around too. There's a lot happening in that.
Got into the right rear. Watch it from the blimp camera.
And 79 came from a long way back. Grout bounced it off of the curb out of 4. 79 gets there. Grout pinches him just a little bit, but he chooses to not lift there. And yeah, it just led to a couple cars spinning. Everybody's pretty good. Nobody has any heavy damage. Down to 30 laps to go now. This race has flown by. We're only 40 minutes in.
Last one here for week 7 at Oxford Plains. Again, would like to remind everybody what this is all about. Sarah 250. Whole week of Oxford Plains presented by Only Short Tracks. It's the 4th stop. Social media post here from Kyle Adams. Green flag is back out, and we're looking 3 wide for the lead. 18 to the outside on this restart.
Yeah, the 18's got a lot of momentum, but not a lot of room to work with there. As I'm really surprised he has any tires left. We've seen him run the top here more laps than he's ran the bottom.
Might backfire on him here, though, Gavin. He's got the... I believe that's the 33 of Dustin Smith. Yes, on the inside. The 3rd position. When you get pinned up there, it's going to take a few laps to let this car wind out. Find the group, and it's pushing up the racetrack. You're on that inside. It was working earlier for the high line, but if the 33 pushes up into you, it doesn't much matter.
Yeah, and the one good thing about that top line this late in the race is the bottom of the track is so rubbered up that it's lost a lot of its grip. So the top line of the track is still pretty green. So I mean, the 18's not in a bad spot.
A lot of racing left to be done here from Oxford with the leader Kyle Turzak. Led every single lap so far. Does the 78 have anything for him? Or will it be another dominant performance by Turzak to regain this points lead?
Yeah, Turzak's doing a really good job here.
With no tire sets available, you have to do a good job. If you use them up early, you won't have them for the end of this race. Now the lead stretches out to half a second. Robbie Taylor side by side with the 0 of Mount Rolfe. This is for 8th.
Yeah, Rolfe started up front, and he's just been struggling this whole race. I mean, we saw him running up in the top 3 quite a bit early, but he's just been kind of stuck in the back half of the top 10, just not able to maintain his speed from early in the race. of gets over the lip there on the back straightaway, has to cross back over to get into turn 3, and that does not help with his grip.
19 picking up positions. That's Christopher Shepard trying to get back to where they started, looking 3 wide into 1 and 2. Here we go.
Yeah, you got to make sure you know you're 3 wide here. Communicate with each other. Everybody fans out, gets back down to 2x2. And that one car, Petter, really benefited from that, as there's almost contact there. There is a little bit. Still maintaining control of each other here. Man, this is really intense racing with just 15 laps to go.
61 to the inside of Will Vanover. 66 in the middle. Contact with the 19. Sideways. Check up. Still checking up. 71 around again. Into the nose. Caution's got to come out for that one. It's Thomas Dean in the 71 off the track. No yellow. There it is.
There it is. These cars are going to go a lap down, trying to get out of the way. And looked like one car reset there. Let's take a look at what happened. Wolf's on top, 61's there on the bottom. And they just get into the 19 just a little bit. I mean, 19 carrying a little less corner speed. And that right there was the heavy damage.
Yeah, that was still not out here. This is where the yellow comes out. Here come the leaders.
Yeah, Kyle Turzak had to be terrified right there.
Watch on board.
Well, if you're looking at the cards,
yeah, that is,
reminds me of the figure 8 at Slinger. But with that, we're going to restart inside of 10 to go.
There was ever a moment for Aaron Johnson to try to snag away this lead. Now's the time.
Yeah, I don't think Turzak's going to fake down pit road this time around.
Again, the Misfit Summer Series presented by RUK Offshore. Catch all the action these last 2 weeks. We're about to have another points lead battle. 3 drivers mathematically possible to win this championship in season number 3 of the Summer Series. Turzak letting the pace car know to get out of the way next time by.
Yeah, gonna be 10 to go here when we restart. I guess 9 to go as the pace car's gonna pull off this time around.
This is the moment, though, if you're the 78, to really tighten up the line. Lots of wheel spin. Turzak actually wheel slips a little bit. That'll give the 78 a chance here off of 1 and 2.
78 has to be careful not to overdrive and wash up too far up the track. That's what he did there, but he's going to try to cross back over. Get to the inside of the go. They touch, and the 78's going to spin himself out. Yellow flag.
Aaron Johnson goes from 2nd to 12th in the closing laps. That's not what you wanted if you're the 78.
Yeah, I know. And trying to fill out the car here, I think. And yeah, he gets a good run as Turzak kind of ran on that higher line. He's been running that shallower line. He gets into Turzak and then just locks it down and gets smoked by Jake Grout there at the end of that. Man, that's got to be frustrating, racing for the lead and spinning out on your own mistake. But man, it was such a good battle for the lead there here at the end.
One more time from the blimp camera. We'll do it in slow motion. You can see the difference in lines. It looks like the 78 shows the nose. 15 dives kind of down in front of him. There's where you see Aaron Johnson facing the wrong direction. 49 of Grout hits the right, or yeah, the right-hand side of that car. You got a feel for Aaron Johnson right now. That's not what you wanted to see in the closing laps. That pretty much takes Aaron Johnson out of the picture.
Yeah, and how about this? Some new players here, second and third. Dustin Smith and Trevor Ward. We're going to be third and fifth, I guess, is the 18 and 79. 79 scored as the one lineup on the outside.
It's out on the pace car, getting ready for another restart. It'll be the 8th time today we've seen the iRacing pace car pull off. 7 cautions, 0 lead changes. We almost saw a lead change with that contact. The 18 of Larson Parker is now to the outside on this restart.
Larson's been really good there running the top. He's been the one guy who can make it work the most. Let's see if he's got anything to call.
It's a really wide entry into 1 and 2. Green flag back underway. 3 to go when they cross the stripe. Happens so quickly. 3 green-white checkers at our disposal if we need them. Will we need them? As the battle for second is now there.
Dustin Smith's doing a really good job now. Yeah, I think Larson Parker just picked up his tires.
The 1. Caution
There it is.
out.
There's the caution.
Colt Martin off the track.
That is big hit for Trevor Ward. Which we've seen Trevor Ward be a guy who has been kind of driving it a little bit further into the corner than the cars around him, so not really surprising to see him do it this late in the race, fighting for position, but that car's gonna drive very different now without a rear spoiler or rear deck. I mean, he's going to be pretty out of control. He's just going to have to limp this one home.
RUK Offshore instant replay. Trevor Ward down pit road. And this puts us into overtime now. 150 laps wasn't enough here, Gavin.
Now we have 3 of these overtimes to use. Let's see if it's going to take more than 1 or if it's just going to take 1. Lights off on the pace car. We're coming back this time around. And I really like the position Terzak's in here. He's had control this whole race. Larson Parker showed right there. He's very good on the initial restart. He just can't really get the car wound up fast enough to be around Terzak on the outside immediately. So let's see how it goes right here.
Back underway. First green-white checkered attempt. It's a 1/4 of a mile sprint here to get the white flag. Will we make it back to it? We will. One more time around in Oxford. And off of turn 4, the 15 of Terzak has led every single lap, and he will go to victory lane week 7 in the Summer Series.
I thought he was going to try to ramp it off one of the berms as a celebration there.
Air.
Really good win from Kyle Terzak. Led flag to flag, led the overtime. 154 laps led. Pretty impressive in a 150-lap race.
When you schedule it out, these drivers know what they've signed up for here in the Summer Series, and Kyle Terzak's going to take the lead back over, parking it here on the start-finish line.
There he goes, gets a little burnout in. Gonna park it right here on the checkered box for victory lane as the 18 and the 33 gonna park here beside him.
Post-race
I believe that's the rest of our top 3.
That is. Post-race interviews with the top 3 and your final race results. You're watching the Misfit Touring Series presented by RUK Offshore. Post-race coverage continues right after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
It's too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa. GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Welcome back here to Oxford, where we're watching the celebration. Kyle Terzak, who led every single lap in this event. Final race results up on the screen. Gavin Grubbs has the top 10 here from Oxford.
Kyle Terzak led 154 of 154. Started on the pole, finished there. Larson Parker drove up to second from 7th place. Dustin Smith started all the way back in 15th. Ended up P3. Mount Rolfe started in 3rd, finished 4th, but he had an exciting, eventful night to get there. Hale finished in 5th, Taylor 6th, Petter 7th in the 1 car, Carpenter 8th, Vanover 9th, and Johnson rounds out the top 10 after starting in 4th.
Give me Colt Martin for 11th position with Christopher Shepard in 12th. Go through the rest of this field. With 13th place, Jake Rout definitely had a top 5 car. 49 is going to end up 13th. Trevor Ward, who I think was involved in probably 8 out of 10 accidents tonight, going to end up in the 14th position. Kyle Adams, 15th tonight. They have Thomas Dean in the 71, another one of those cars that caught a lot of the wrong end of the stick. Then you have Travis Owens, Jason Bear, and the 5 scored as a 18, was up in the top 5 for a lot of the day. And Anthony Bello electing not to take the grid here tonight will end up in the 19th position. But now rounding up the rest of the post-race, the first driver we're going to talk to is in victory lane. Gavin Grubbs has caught up with your race winner, Kyle Terzak, in the 0-15.
Hey, Kyle, it's Gavin up at the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Kyle, you led every lap tonight, started on pole, finished P1, had great speed all night. It seemed like you were in control the whole time. Was there any doubt at all?
A little bit. Obviously we got a lot of competitive guys in here. We got Aaron, Tracy, and everybody who runs this league. But I just had to lock in tonight. I know we had a really good piece, qualified on pole, and me and Tracy actually tied. So, it's never easy, right? So, kind of just got myself a gap and managed it to start the race, and then around lap 100 is when I tried to step it up a little bit and I was glad I can, get this good result. And Aaron had a bad night after that misfortune happened on the front stretch, but it's not over, right? We got a couple more races left, so we just gotta, look at those and see what we got.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you only have 3 races remaining after this, I believe. Just reclaimed the points lead. How does that feel? Just trying to finish out the season. Now you're in control of the points.
I mean, it's pretty good, right? Points leader. I led the points. I had somewhat of a gap, and then had some trouble races, and that allowed Aaron to close in that gap. So hopefully, I could continue this momentum and try to get a couple more wins and just good results, right? I'm just here. I'm point racing, so I need to get the best results I can and the most points I can to beat Aaron. And if we could do that, I feel like we come away with a Summer Series title.
Yeah, and last question I got for you. I mean, 150 laps on the same set of tires. You said you really turned it on around lap 100. Kind of walk us through just keeping your tires managed that first 100 lap run.
Yeah, we just kind of had to lift early. You're constantly turning here, so you just got to make sure the right front stays on. It doesn't get overheated. And to be honest, I did actually. I was a little tight there at the end. So, we're gonna take this and take some notes to the Oxford 250 on Thursday. So, looking forward to that. Thanks for Matt for partnering us up with our MRO. It was a lot of fun. Glad Tracy and all those guys could come out and just got to make adjustments, see what we had here tonight, and go on to Thursday.
Awesome, Kyle. Before I let you go, you got anybody you want to thank, shout out, or mention?
Yeah, I want to thank Adams and Hale for putting this on, you guys for the broadcast, Ryan Kuhn, RKM Sub Shop for everything to do on the setup side, Corey Buddy Raps, Corey Buddy Motorsports, Hot Shot Photography for the iRacing photos, Terzak Racing on Facebook, and everybody's watching back at home.
All right, that is our race winner, Kyle Terzak. I'm going to send it back to Bradley Cooper. He's caught up with our second place finisher.
Moving on to Larson Parker. He said he was going to put on a good show, and you did that very well. But Larson, we had a pre-race conversation. I want to establish that, and I think your response was, "I'm on probation." So now I think this sells that you're no longer on probation. You didn't do what I asked you to do, which was make it interesting.
Yeah, the only way I could really do that without getting myself in trouble was just run the lane that nobody else wanted to run. So I stuck it out on the high side for most of that race for you.
Well, you went to the outside. You were able to hang it out there for the top 5 most of the night. Then we get this late race restart. The caution started to plague us here in the bottom half of this race, and that's where you really started to shine. It was those restarts where you really pushed the car.
Yeah, I saw everybody taking the bottom, and I was like, well, I mean, if I've been on the high side for most of this race, what's a few more laps going to hurt? And luckily, it did work out for me pretty well.
Put that car up on the podium tonight. And again, when you go back to the beginning of this race, started back in 7th, did you ever think that Oxford, I mean, we're constantly turning left, we're all on the bottom. It's very hard to pass. Did you think, okay, I'm starting in 7th. Am I going to win? I'm going to be where I want to be at the end of this.
Going into it, no. I didn't know if the leaders were pushing at the start or if they were kind of saving, because I went into save mode immediately for about the first 50 laps, and I couldn't tell what they were doing. I knew they were flying. And then after I finally got up in that top 5, and after the restart started taking over, I kind of realized that I wasn't as far off as I thought I was. So I was pretty happy with that.
Put it on second spot there for the number 18. Again, we appreciate you coming up here and talking to us. Sure, you got people in the chat that are watching tonight. Go ahead and shout them out.
I'd like to thank RKM Setup Shop, William Hale, Kyle Adams for putting on this show, Sarah for giving us a pretty good car count, partnering up with MRL, and just everybody for watching, and you guys for putting on the broadcast.
Larson Parker, second place here at Oxford. And again, I had my heart set on Phoenix. I guess we'll see next week if you can run that dog leg down to the bottom. Like you said, you can.
Yeah, if I can run the high lane here, I'm definitely going to try to run the far bottom there. So
he's doing what everybody else isn't doing here, Gavin, and I appreciate that. We'll see you next week. 2 weeks.
See you guys.
And that brings us to our third place finisher, Dustin Smith, another driver. And you got to shout out. You got to shout out on, I believe it's Kayla. It's either Kaylee or Kayla. I've forgotten the name now at this point, but you got to shout her out. She's watching tires right now, so just go ahead and call her out for that.
All right, I got the third place finisher, Dustin Smith, here with me. Started 15th, went plus 12 tonight. You were one of the best drivers as far as keeping the car maintained on the bottom, really maintained your grip, did a good job taking care of your tires. Walk us through, taking care of the race car and ended up P3 on a somewhat chaotic night there at the end.
Yeah, it all thanks to all the guys at RKM. They Kuhn and all them guys, they put a bunch of time in these setups. Really couldn't do without them. But just keeping the nose clean and making passes when I could, really made it to the front. Not as fast as I really wanted to, but still made it there.
Yeah, and just walk us through kind of working your way up through the field.
Yeah, just main thing was passing people clean and keeping the nose clean. That was my main goal, and just slowly inching my way up there, just keeping the nose clean.
Yeah, and what all goes into keeping the nose clean on such a small track like this when we saw so many collisions, through the field, especially out of turn 2 and out of turn 4?
Yeah, these cars they take a lot of patience and a lot of easy on the throttle. You got to have good throttle control with these cars, and I feel like I managed the best race I could manage to my ability, and just manage the throttle really well and seeing where guys was struggling at, and that's where I could beat them.
I got you. Well, worked your way up to third after starting 15th. Did a really good job keeping the nose clean. Do you have anybody that you want to shout out or mention here? Bradley says he knows he has one person that you want to mention.
Yeah, I would say I'd like to thank Hale, but he was expecting that. But no, I'd like to thank all the guys at MRL and RKM and just everybody that's helped me and build these setups. Appreciate all them.
What's
All right,
the name? That wasn't the name, Dustin. We talked in the pre-race. That wasn't the name.
Yeah, I don't forgot, bud.
She's watching tires right now.
Do what?
Who's in the background right now? We talked to her in the pre-race. Never mind. I'll let
My
it go.
fiance. Yeah. Thanks to her for letting me sit on the game for a couple hours a night too.
Yeah, that pretending to drive is what I think she phrased it as.
Yeah, pretending to drive. Yeah.
I said you're pretending for real is how I described it.
Yeah, I mean, this helps me. I'll even go to Cordell Thursday night to run our supercar at the Cordell Speedway. But you can take some of this and the super stuff for throttle control and transfer it to real life.
Yeah, well, that's our third place finisher, Dustin Smith. And Dustin, I'll see you down in Cordell on Saturday.
See you, bub. Thank y'all.
All right, see you. That's our third place finisher, Dustin Smith. Well, Bradley, that rounds out our top 3 interviews. We had some great racing through the field tonight, even though Kyle Terzak decided that he was going to lead all 154 laps, including our overtime, as here's a little preview of where we're going to be at next week with the Misfit Summer Series, and that's going to be at Phoenix in 1 week's time.
Every other week here, and I tell you what, I hope to have you back here, Gavin. If you had a little bit of fun here, I can't blame you, because Summer Series is just getting tipped off. Another lead change in the points. Kyle Terzak going to take it back over Aaron Johnson. He had a 2-point lead coming into tonight. You also have the 66 of Rami Taylor, who still, based off math, can have a chance at this with 2 races left to go in the schedule. We'll bring up that schedule now. Again, there's a flip-flop here with Oxford and Phoenix, but it's on the Nashville Fairgrounds, September 15th for 200 laps for the season finale to finish this all out. It's gonna get good. I'm telling you, you got to be back for it, Gavin.
All right, I don't know if I'll be back in the booth because we got Scott Shive, who's normally on here, and he's a great announcer. But if I get to come back, I will be excited, and if not, I'll probably be watching.
Again, You can catch all the action here on VSpeed. If you enjoyed tonight's action, hit the subscribe button. You'll never miss a single race. We have plenty of leagues between the Misfit Touring Series coming up here in October. The Summer Series wrapping up at the end of, at the beginning of September, midway through. You also have Mystic iRacing League. You have Racing Revolution, Saturday Night Racing League on their 6th season, just wrapping up there at the end. ETDY coming back very soon. For Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Logan Threlkel, and Morgan Cook, everybody that makes this possible, Gavin Grubbs, my co-commentary here tonight in the lead productions. Shout out to Scott Shive. This is Bradley Cooper saying so long from Oxford. Stay tracking, everybody.